But
Yeah, well, I think it's fun to just do a couple milestones.
yes.
You know,
Yes.
see how people change.
Yes.
Well, and speaking
You know?
of milestones, our first grandson graduated from high school this weekend.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
That's
how
great.
Yeah.
wonderful.
All in one
Wonderful.
piece.
That's good.
Great. Okay. Hi, welcome to Gloria Horn Sewing Studio. And we are finishing up the Glorious Summer Quilt. And today we're going to be talking about backing, batting, and quilting. But, you know, we like to call our little session Sip and Sew. So today's sip has a life jacket on it. And you know why? Because Steve is our life preserver. And Steve has been working so hard because we know there's been a little bit of confusion and we're trying to streamline it and make everyone happy. So, Steve, what did you just do?
So we've said before, like, we did say everyone who purchased this pattern. So if you purchased this pattern from us, there was many of you, you should have gotten 2 emails from us. One that includes the instructions for the welcome. So there's a PDF file that's 3 pages long that includes all these instructions to be able to do the welcome banner. And then there's also another email that was sent to you guys that includes all the files. So if you go into your email, and there's a few of you, maybe only 7 of you who didn't get it because you have one of those private email addresses. And I have to track you down and call you and get a different email address. So that's happening. There's only 7 of you. So check your inboxes. Those were just sent out within the last half hour. Many of you should have gotten it. If you hadn't, I'm going to send it again. I might send it 3 times. You might get it 3 times, and that's okay. So it's going to come to you again here. So make sure everyone gets it. Check your spam folders in there. But it came from orders@gloriahorn.com. And all of you should have gotten it, and I'm going to send it again anyways. So
Okay,
yep.
fun.
But I think that that'll give everyone everything they need to be able to do this
And
project
so
for sure.
Every person that purchased the full quilt is getting all of that information.
Yes.
And then the people that purchased the welcome, they're special. And so originally my little handwritten changes, because we added more fabric than what Smith Street even said. We added an additional color. We changed one of the colors on, and I had written down what some of the threads were. So if you purchase the welcome banner, you are going to get
Put that
a
pattern in the
USB with everything that Steve just said. Okay.
So we're putting someone just mentioned, how do we order the pattern, Valerie? We just put it in the bubble now. So it's the pattern to complete this whole quilt, but there's other projects in it, and you can kind of adapt those projects to do different things. So
there's actually 2 quilt patterns. Summer Whimsy. It's a wonderful value from Smith Street. They're known for their embroidery. It is this quilt, which we sold kits for, and we have been showing how to do it step by step. And then there is another quilt on the back of that pattern called Summer Whimsy. Uses the same designs, but lays them out a little different for those of you that are extra creative.
So if you go back on Tuesdays, now I'm guessing it's 8 weeks because this is the 4th session on Glorious Summer. You should be able to follow the steps through where we've tried to help you out.
Right. And guess what? With Steve being our lifesaver, he said we can spin the wheel today.
Oh yeah.
Where's that wheel?
I completely forgot. Totally forgot. Yes. Da-da-da.
This is all about Steve. Come on, Steve.
So who's going to know? You guys spin it. You guys spin it.
Okay,
Yep.
ready?
So this enables you guys to get an extra percentage back on top.
And no 2%.
No, if
No
you get-
2%. No 2%.
Oh, spin it again. Spin it again.
What did I get?
So you got
3%,
No,
okay.
we're going to get one higher.
Yeah, Steve told us a great
Yeah.
discount today.
Cannot buy the welcome pattern only. It has to be in the whole kit. So we're going to give a total of 8% back today.
Oh my
We're gonna
gosh,
give another 6%
yay.
back. Yep.
Yay.
Oh, I'm
yay.
shopping too.
So
Yay.
good. That was fun.
Yay,
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Now, Steve, do you want to remind them how they can shop?
Yes. So if you are in our app, you're in the best place because there's buy, add to cart for any of the products we show. If you're on Facebook and this is your very first time, it's a good idea to register. So just if it's your first time on Facebook, you can go to the comments section, write the word register. A new screen pops up. You can put in your first name, last name, email address, and phone number, and then you can come back over to Facebook. But really, watch from our app. It's the best way. Download the app. It's a free app. It keeps everything there for you. But you can also watch on YouTube. Where else are we at? Instagram.
Our website.
Our website. Website's a great place to watch too. Yeah, gloriahorn.com is a great place to watch there too. So we are going to, in the bubble includes fabric. No, in the bubble is just the pattern. Just the pattern. So.
And while you're here, we're doing 3 parts today. We're doing talking about quilting. We're going to talk about wide backs to sell.
We have beautiful wide backs. Wait until you see what Gloria hand selected these for you along with Deb, and they came in fast.
And then we have our next project. But before Steve leaves us, because
Sure.
we never know where Steve is,
Yeah.
go back to when Kathleen and I talked to you maybe 4 weeks ago about how you would be doing the quilting.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. So the quilting, you can do it. There's like 100 different ways you can quilt this. Some of the quilting's built in
Here's some-
into the pattern here.
Yes, let's
and if
show
we
that.
zoom in,
Can we put that PJ,
this here.
picture on the overhead?
so looking at this picture together.
Yes.
Now, can you zoom in even further? Zoom in like on these triangles up here if you can. Yeah, there we go. So the lightest background here that's not part of the embroidery design, those are quilting designs and suggestions of where you can put them to quilt things. But don't be afraid that, I mean, you can go beyond this though with that quilting. Like this pattern here that's in the bottom portion of this, you can put that same pattern up over top of the embroidery design. And we, on the long arm, stitched through our embroidery design that's going to hold everything down. And that's what we were like, let's just stitch over the embroidery designs with this. So you can take that pattern and you can move it up and stitch right over your embroidery design. And I think
We're
going
gonna be showing that today.
show that today.
Yeah, we're
So,
going to show that today, how to do it completely.
So, and the other thing is we mentioned stitch in the ditch, or if you do like just right next to the ditch, if you have trouble getting it right in that ditch, you can go kind of a 1/4 inch echo and kind of piece around some of the piecing too. But we're going to go over some of the ways to quilt it and kind of look at the long arm too about quilting it there too. So.
Great.
But what about your dining room table?
Oh, so if you do want to quilt it, find a big table that you can move your machine to the center of. A dining room table is a good spot. This is a heavier quilt, and you want to be able to support all the way around the machine while it's working. So if you put your machine in the middle of a table, it'll kind of support the extra that's, you don't want to hang it off to the side. You want it supported by a table when you're working on it. So
If you buy anything from the store, will you get the 8%?
yes.
Except the machine.
Yep, except for the machines. There's a few exceptions, but if you can get it in your cart and it comes up that the 8%, you'll earn that. So.
And we're
yep.
talking about the magnetic frames today, so
Yep.
that's when I would buy it.
Yes.
Yes.
So.
But as Kathleen's going to do a demo on how to do the quilting, she's also going to show you how to go into the projector. So if it was me, I would stitch in the ditch, maybe a 1/4 of an inch away, and then I would be working from the outside of the quilt. So if I have to rotate the designs 90 degrees, you have that ability.
And look what she did. She drew a practice out ahead of time. If we can show the overhead, just drew a practice out ahead of time of what this is going to be, and then stitch it down. So you can do this yourself too. Make yourself a practice and try stitching it out. Don't let it be the first time on your quilt, unless you're really ready to go. But do a practice, and that's what we're going to show you today, just on a practice piece, how to put that in. And once you get that practice, how you looks, how you like it, go for the real one and do it. So.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we'll be covering that a little later. Great. Okay. All right. Let's talk about the magnetic hoops while we move over there. I'm going to be
Be interested in the instructions for the table runner. So those were those included?
No, well, we can get those out. We can get those out. Now that I have the mass email list, all those other ones can go out too. So that's
okay. A question came up: will you get the table runner and the table topper instructions? And Steve, our lifesaver, he is going to send them out in another email. But we knew that the welcome was getting a little hot, and so we wanted to make sure that everybody received the welcome before we started bombarding your email. Okay. Now let's talk about magnetic hoops. We have a number of sizes here, and remember, 8% off today. PJ, you ready to put this first 8x12 magnetic hoop in?
I'm ready.
Okay, one thing I want to point out to you is if you purchase a magnetic hoop, how does it open up? Oh, we have to slide it off. If you purchase a magnetic hoop, some key things that people don't realize, when it comes to you, it's wrapped like this and it has the plastic divider. You don't want to throw that away. You want to keep that because that keeps your top and bottom of your magnetic hoop separated. And if you have arthritic fingers like me, you go to the corner so you don't break your fingernails to pull it apart. The most important thing in this box is this little, it's stick-on rollers. And why I feel it's important when I'm using a magnetic hoop is because it is offset. So it's just like a golf club, it's offset. And that's important when you're setting up your system. So you want to use the stick-on rollers and so that you will know exactly where the center point is of your hoop. So when you open it up, don't throw this away. There's some adjustment and some guides in here that are very, very important, okay? The other thing is on the back, there is like, it's almost like velveteen and that wears. So if you have an older magnetic hoop and you're saying, oh, it's not going in my machine right, check the back and see if this has been worn off because they do wear off with time and we don't want to jam it in our machine. We want to simply slide it in, okay?
But mine are worn off and it doesn't make any difference.
Okay.
I did go back to Dime. They sent me extra ones. It's still sitting in the drawer.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are the sizes that we're recommending today. The 8x12 size, and that's in the bubble. And then Deb likes to use the 10.5 by 10.5. Deb, what do you use that 10.5
well,
for?
the 10.5 by 10.5 is going to be for our next project
Okay.
that we'll show later today.
Okay, it's a teaser. You want this one because our next project, this is going to make it easy for you because it has multiple hoopings. And that's what's important to know. And then the big baby is 10.5 by 16. Can't go wrong with buying a big one, okay? But I find that I'm more comfortable with the smaller size. Now, PJ, we're going to go over to the machine now, and we're going to show you how we set up our machine. Before I get there, this is my quilt, and what I'm showing you is if I did not put the flower border on yet, which goes beyond here, but these are the squares that we're recommending that you consider using the quilting designs. They're at the very end of your stick. I'm going to show you where they are on your stick. So if I go over to the Solaris, you'll notice I have my quilt sandwich already. I have some, I actually have 2 layers of fusible fleece because I wanted to give it a little bit more loft. And I'm going to go over here. You notice I have my hoop already on. I have my hoop on, and I have the frame stood up like
Can I
this.
squeeze by you?
It's not going to hurt your machine at all. The magnets on this frame are not going to hurt your machine. Now we're going to go into the Solaris. I have my embroidery designs loaded. I want you to see them. These are at the very bottom of your designs. So let me move this around a little bit so you have all of your flowers that you've all been using. And at the very end, there are actually, come to me. I tend to use a stylus at home. So we have 1 here, and then we have 3 more here. You notice these 2, Design 1 and Design 2, Quilting Design 1 and Design 2, they are just mirror images of each other. So it makes it nice and easy. And then number 3 and number 4 are mirror images of each other. So we are going to choose Quilting Design number 1. And we're going to set that. And we're going to tell it to embroider. And I have a variegated thread in here to show you. I'm going to load my quilt sandwich. When you're using the bigger hoop, it'll flip up and down much easier for you, and it will just line up beautifully. And remember, it has that offset. So when you are hooping on your machine, which we tend to do with our magnetic hoops, I'm going to adjust this because I want the magnetic hoop to keep my quilt sandwich together. Okay, and you notice I don't have it hooped particularly straight, but sometimes I'm a little bit more better with it than others. And what I'm going to do is here on the machine, I'm going to hit the projector. Okay, you can see where the design is in the middle. We're looking good there. But notice here on the bottom, the curly Q is not where I want it to be. So what I want to do is I want to move that curly Q. I'm using the directional arrows on my machine to adjust that. So I want to move it up a little bit and over a little bit. Now, it's moving very tiny, tiny pieces. If you wanted to, let's say it was crooked, you have the ability to adjust it 10% and 1%. Okay, if we look at the projector here, we're looking, it's lining up maybe a little bit more this way. And you know, this is a design decision. Remember, here at Sip and Sew, we like to say, you do you. So we're good with that. I want to go up here. Okay, I think we're set. I'm going to start the embroidery, and I want you to see how it's going to go, and then we're going to do another block, and we may try one of the other scrolls in the middle if we have a chance, because this is a pretty quick sew. It's only 2 minutes. I hope you can see I used a variegated thread. I like to use a variegated thread when I'm doing my quilting because it gives it a little bit more dimension. This is not the thread I would select for my quilt. I selected this just to be able to give you a really good vision of how it will look. One thing I did not do is when I'm doing quilting, I do the needle down, needle up, and hold the tails because I really didn't want it to tie a knot on the back. So you can pre-program your machine to not knot, or to to skip the knotting, or you could do needle down, needle up. I like to do needle down, needle up, and I was just too excited to get to this.
Looks like we have a tail floating around.
Right, holding the tails, that is correct.
Oh, there it is. It's gonna get caught. Oh, look out.
I'm going to stop because I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
I don't.
You know what? I know what it's.
It's a little tail. It's the
Yeah.
tail. I know. I have a tail, but I don't have any scissors here. That's
Need
okay. I
some
just.
snips?
Oh,
Here. You want these?
yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Can you believe it? I was almost naked here. I didn't have my snips with me. Okay, here we go back. Now, if I was doing this quilt for real, I would not want to cut it in the middle, so I would go over to my machine using the up and down, making sure my piece is up. I would use my plus and minus. I would maybe go back five stitches. I would say, okay. I would look for my tail. I'm sorry, we come from the other building, so I don't have all my tools with me. I would use my tweezers to hold this.
Is this on the design with the Glorious Summer?
This
Yes.
design, these 4 designs, I'll come back
on
to
the
that
CD.
again. These 4 designs are included in your Glorious Summer pack. And if you can't find them, remember I scrolled all the way down after all of the flower designs.
Mm-hmm.
There, I got that up. I'm going to just pull it out of the way. We're going to go down. And we're going to just hold that out of the way for a while. Yes, you have 4 quilting designs built in that were designed for you to be able to quilt your quilt. Okay, and as we mentioned, if you have a big dog like the Solaris, even a Destiny, I have done a queen size quilt on my Destiny, and I did not do edge to edge. This is not edge to edge. This is what I call fill in the block, okay? Because you're filling in the block with a fancy fill that was designed to complement this particular overall design. And if you look at it, if we look on the screen,
Okay.
they can see there are some flowers and leaves. They echo the applique pieces that were. Now, if we look over here on the sewing machine, okay, I moved it up. Now remember, it's variegated, so you've got some different things going on. Let's lift this up. Here's what I would do. If I had my bigger hoop, I would be able to lift this over top of my machine arm. But PJ, are we seeing this?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like I said, it's important to do a test run. In real life, I would have probably moved this down a little bit more. Okay, and if I wanted to anchor it, there's no reason why. No one says you have to do stitch in the ditch. You have so many beautiful stitches on your machine that you could do a fancy stitch. You could do a serpentine, anything like that. Now let's show this again so that people realize you can do this. If I can do this, you can do this. So
You're using the projector. What about scanning?
yes, there are 2 ways to do it. That's the beauty of this. Some people like to use, I like to use the projector, and I'll tell you why. Because with the scanning, you have your frame moving around, okay? And that, like, you do what's best for you. If you like to use the projector and see, I only did scanning until Mary Lou and Deb pointed out to me how to do the projector. So another thing too is I'm coming over to my display on my machine. Layout. We could do a if you wanted to do a basting stitch, like let's say we were doing this in an area that was a little bit more, we could hit that, and look, it gave me a basting stitch around that whole block. Do you see this on my screen? The small black block is going to be a basting stitch. Okay?
Nice.
With a basting stitch, you always want to do a needle up, needle
Yes.
down to pull those threads to the top. It's a long stitch. It's neat because it's real easy to tear or pull back out.
Right.
But you always want to do needle up, needle down, and pull the bobbin thread.
Now, if you notice too, the basting is covering the embroidery area. It is not outlining the embroidery design. And I like to point that out to you, okay? All right, I like to use the projector because it's making me learn something different. So I'm going back.
There's some good questions over here. Do you want to?
Sure.
Sure, Deb can take the questions. Now, I put that basting stitch on. I could go in and make it skip it, or I could ignore it, or we'll use plus and minus. Okay, new piece of fabric in there. It's a little bit over. So, and we see where these are going to be up here. We see it's a little off center. So we're going to adjust that. We're going back to our I like to call this my keyboard. I'm going back to my keyboard. I'm moving it over. Do you see it's moving on the machine? That's why I like to use the projector as opposed to the scanner for this particular project. There are other projects that I like to use the scanner for. Okay.
So, Anne, the quilt is big and heavy. How to prevent dragging? And that was something Kathleen and I came and specifically talked to Steve about. And what his suggestion was, which really was excellent, is work on your dining room table. It lifts the weight off the quilt. I mean, I was concerned, is the machine strong enough to be able to maneuver the quilt back and forth? He said absolutely, but you don't want it on your machine and then the quilt falling down over the side. You want to keep the
and you don't
quilt
want it
up.
hanging off your table and so
Right,
forth.
exactly.
I get, there are two sizes of pool noodles, believe it or not. Pool noodles, I get the skinny ones. They were just at Walmart for $1. The fat ones are $3, but I roll my fabric because here in the neck area, I'm a klutz, as you all know. So I like to roll my fabric and have that pool noodle there. That way it's kind of supported. And then the pool noodle kind of supports it on the table too. Or build up with telephone books or boxes to make your fabric be the same level as it is on your machine. Those are just some helpful hints that we like to think about. Let me make this one go.
And Kathleen's information, that's the same whether you're doing the quilt or you're doing a beach towel. A beach towel is going to put a lot of drag on the machine.
Okay.
So there are certain times when you want to keep the fabric up at almost a parallel level.
I put that basting block in, so I want to skip it.
Somebody wanted to see that again.
Oh, okay, the basting block, how to do it?
Yes.
Okay, so here you are on your machine. We're on the machine, okay? See up here, this little layout. Layout, so you have your projector, your scanner, etc. We have layout. The dotted line around, that is a basting block. So I hit it again and it took it off. I'm going to hit it again. It's putting it back on.
I love that. I use it all the time.
And I'll tell you a secret. Those of you that are still using the sticky back, I got a little frustrated with getting the sticky back out of the flower arch. So I am putting the basting block on and I am using tearaway. Just something that I found is working better for me. And that's what we like to share with you, what we found that works. So, all right, I'm going to take that.
Kathleen, is that the 6x10 or 8x12 hoop?
This is the 8x12.
I thought it was the 8x12.
Yeah, it's the 8x12. And this is very manageable for me. So I really enjoy this size. But if with 8% off, I think I might be getting the big boy today. Okay. All right. Let me go back and have it. I have to tell it to embroider.
I always like to use as small a hoop as possible. I think it holds the fabric tighter. So all I do is put it in the machine and it says change to a larger hoop.
We're going to stitch this one out and then we're going to do one more block so that everybody knows. Now, I haven't heard the question of where is that picture that shows the quilting? I find it on the disc in the thread section where there's the thread charts. It's like the third section. That's where I found it. And I think that's a really important page to print out so that you can think about your design. And if you did this in a tone-on-tone, any mistakes would not be very obvious. Doing it in a variegated or an accent thread, it's going to be more obvious if it's not perfectly centered. So in the beginning, I did a lot of quilting on my Destiny on tone, so I matched my thread to my fabric. But now that I feel comfortable with the Solaris and the projector, look, this one's almost perfectly centered where I want it to be. And there's nothing to say if you have a design that is a different size. We can also show how to blow this up. Maybe if you did the pink and green table runner, it told you to reduce this design to 8 inches and to center it. So that gave it a different look on that table runner. And we'll have those kits back out today too, because I have good news on them. But this is almost completely centered. I think when I do it, I think if the camera is here,
Sure.
I think I am going to expand this. Let me show you. Okay. So, all right, I'm back in here. I'm going to hit return. I'm going to hit edit. Edit. Okay. And size. Size, we have all of the little blocks. Let's say I wanted to have this be almost edge to edge in here, use up some more of this white space. I could make it bigger. And I'm going to say okay. And then I'm going to say embroidery. And then I'm going to put that projector on. Okay. And you can see.
Hold on. It's a little bright. I'm going to darken it down for us.
Okay.
There we go.
I'm sorry, but you can see where the original size was, okay, which is in the red thread, and then the brown is where we made it a little bit bigger. Okay, so we're getting more of that edge to edge look, and we can go back.
And this box, if you slide it,
It wasn't working.
it wasn't working. Okay. That box will slide around.
Right. I'm not sure why. Oh, there it goes. Here we go. Thanks,
So
Deb.
you can check your whole design.
Right, so we can see that it came over here a little bit more. Now let's say we want to do it again, all right? We go back, we return, we go back into edit, we go back into edit, we go to size, and we want to make it bigger. So we went from 8.20 to 9.5. Let's see if that fills our piece. We're going to say embroider. We're going to hit that projector again. Okay, it has filled it left to right. Let's go down to the bottom. Okay, it has filled it a little bit, but then it made it a little catty-wonky. So maybe while we're in here with the projector, we want to use our 10% and just
Can you go
anchor
back?
it.
Can you go back? And how did you find that menu with the 10%?
Okay. Let me go back out. Let me go back out for you, okay?
Okay.
So I'm out of the projector now. I'm in return so that when you want to be able to have the embroidery down here dark.
Okay.
And we go up here to edit. We have edit is on. We hit the size button. We hit edit. Nope. Size. Does everybody see where we were? We hit edit.
Yep.
And we're in the size button. So we started, our design was 8.2, and we have used the, all four sides are being expanded equally, okay? I'm at the max it can go. But let's say I wanted to just do left and right, I would use one of these buttons, okay? And then I'm saying, okay, and then somehow I reversed it when I was doing that. Oh, I was in the projector and it reversed it. Okay, so we're going to say embroider, embroider, and then this layout button. See, layout, layout. We hit the flower that shows where if we were putting down that tacked on stitch. We're not, okay, we're going to take that off. Then we're going to go up here. Up here we have the projector. And up here at the
Okay.
top, we can rotate it 90%. We can rotate it 10%. We can reset it completely. And so now I have it projecting upside down, and that's why it's not lining up. There we go. Now no, we're not. There we are. Okay. So make yourself a little quilt sandwich. You know, use up some of your scraps, and play with this feature. Get comfortable with it. I can move the box around so I can see where it is over here. And if I'm over here on this camera, I can see it's hanging over a little bit. It's hanging over a little bit over here. So I might want to, because when I made it bigger, it went all the way around.
Zigzag with arrows.
Yes,
You
I'm
ever use
using the
that?
arrows. I'm using the arrows.
Okay. I wonder what, Deb, is this familiar to you? The zigzag with arrows.
I'm not seeing. I always use the zigzag.
You know what? I want to return. I want to add a new design. I want you to see this again from the beginning, okay? So I'm going to return. I'm going to delete that design. I'm going to go back into the stick, okay? I'm on my Glorious Summer stick. I'm going to my embroidery files. I'm going to PES. We have all the flower files come up first. It's coming. They're coming. They're thinking.
Okay, I think Linda's talking about a different method of resizing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I think. So,
Mm-hmm.
and the question about is binding included? If you're talking about the large quilt, the Glorious Summer large quilt, there was a half yard allowed for binding.
Okay, so here I am in the Glorious Summer main file. Okay, I'm going all the way down to the bottom. Look at this one. It's on an angle. Okay, you see this here?
Mm-hmm.
Quilting number 4. I'm going to select quilting number 4. I'm going to set it. Now, I'm going to take my quilt sandwich, and we're going to try something so everybody can see how easy this is. We're going to put it in this white space between these two blocks. So, I'm setting my fabric. I'm setting my fabric, and this is why I like the smaller hoop, but it's wonderful if you can have a selection of multiple hoops. I'm trying to center this. And ladies, sometimes I use a highlighter on this little ruler tape. I use a highlighter to show myself where it is because sometimes my eyesight's not so good in the afternoon. So you do what's best for you, okay? So here we are. I'm going to take this pin out in my quilt sandwich. Now that's making me hungry talking about sandwiches. Okay, I have the design here. Now notice it's on a diagonal. I'm going to rotate that. I'm going to hit embroider. Then I am going to, let's look and see where it is on the camera. So I'm going to hit the projector.
Leslie, I'll ask him about fabric too in a moment. I don't want to throw her off.
All right. Now you can see it actually would go into my other piece where I see that camera. So I am going to go back out. I'm going to say, okay, because I want to do some major movement. I'm going to go back into embroidery, edit, move. I'm going to move, not size. And I'm going to, if I was at my house, I would use my stylus, but I would move this a little bit. And see, I can use my arrows to move it around, to rotate it a little bit. I'm going to go back to edit. I'm going to go to rotate, okay? And I'm going to move it 10%. Notice I'm lining it up a little bit better, okay? See how it's crooked on my screen? But I want it to line up with my fabric sandwich. Does everyone see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's crooked on the screen because I rotated it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to put it on my fabric sandwich. I'm going to say, okay. And I'm going to do the projector and see where we are. and give your machine a little bit of time. Okay, it's not bad. I'm going to move it down here. Oopsies. I'm going to move it down here. Ladies, if you use your stylus as opposed to your finger, the little pencil, the plastic pencil that came with your machine, sometimes I get a little more control when I do that.
I'm seeing comments about using the resize zigzag button. The nicest thing that I like about the Solaris, and the nicest thing that I like about coming into Gloria's, I'm a projector person. Mary Lou said, no, I like to scan and use the camera. To use the phrase, there's more than one way to skin a cat with the Solaris, and it's just a continual learning experience.
Okay. Now, remember, this is my little test sandwich. So let's embroider that out while we answer some questions. Oh, don't you love it that it tells you that you know what? I want a larger frame because I did so much expanding. Okay, I hear you. How many of you yell at your machine like I do?
Leslie, I see that you're saying you don't have enough for the binding. We do have extra fabric here. I don't know what color you would have been using. When we get done, we can just take a note, and if you email and put it on the customer form, I'll be sure and ask Sarah to look at that so that we can find out and help you out.
Okay, the editing function is mad because it's outside of the red area. So the machine is, if I had this in my bigger hoop size, which I did not bring today. Okay.
Yes, I can write that down.
Okay, yeah. If you'll make a note of that.
Yep.
Thank you, PJ.
Okay.
Leslie, PJ's making a note.
All right.
We'll take care of it.
Let me go back and show you another way to do this. We're going to delete this one up. Now, what we can do is go back into the pocket. How many of you named your machine? I know some of you did. I never named mine because I yell at it too much, and my grandchildren say, me. So we're going to put another one in the middle. Okay, set, embroider. See what the projector says. Okay, we're going to move this little one over a little bit. It's funny, I'm sure you each have your own way of doing it, but I do all my clicks in 5s. So, all right, that's looking pretty good. Let's start her. And what I did is I expanded it, I moved it, and if I wanted to, I could have taken this one and reversed it. But this way you can see there are different ways that you can embroider your quilt. You can quilt your quilt. Okay, and with 8% being what you get back, good time to invest in those hoops. They are definitely an investment. And the dime hoops, I've had others, and I really like these dime hoops.
Oh, no name for your machine.
Yeah, no
Okay.
name for the machine.
Mm-hmm.
And I did see Linda's comment about Steve's emailing like crazy. Hey, we're making it right. That's the
Okay.
best that we can do is say sorry and make it right.
Right, because Steve's our lifesaver today. Because we don't want anybody to be upset. We want everybody to be happy. And we have some more happy news to tell you too. So while this is sewing out, I'm going to come back to the desk and I'm going to talk about a couple of other things.
Okay.
Okay. So those of you that were confused, this welcome, I always make my chair bump into my hoop. I'm going to turn that off just so it. Okay.
Steve will make it happen.
Steve will make it happen.
Steve always makes it happen.
But some of you said, "Oh,
with a smile. With a smile.
With a smile." I don't understand where you keep talking about the floral wreath was part of the quilt. Well, I didn't attach mine yet because look, this is where it goes on the quilt. And when I make my quilt, I'm going to make this. I'm going to make another blank one here and here. And this is going to be to put my pillows in at the top of the bed. So this will be my quilt. I'm going to use this for the
your pillows. Yeah.
So good news is I cut all of these kits and they're in shipping. So these kits are out there. Better news is I know some of you are waiting on this kit. You're waiting on this kit, and this fabric came in today. So those kits I'll be working today and tomorrow. I'll get those kits out for you, okay? And on this one, PJ, can we do an up close?
Absolutely.
You said, well, where did you put that quilting in there? Here it is in these white squares. And in the corner, it told you to reduce that to make 2 of them fit here. And what I did is I took one and expanded it as large as I could so that I have just one design going across as opposed to 2 pieces. So the directions called for taking 2 of these and putting one here and one here. I expanded it, just like I just showed you how we used the arrows and made it larger on the size of your edit. And that it's a great way to get to know your machine. So if you ordered this kit, ladies, they should be going out by tomorrow night. Okay, so that's good news. Other good news is I was able to get in more of these 11 different squares. And so those kits are all in shipping, ready to go out. Okay, one thing I do want to point out to you I did wraparound binding because I kept the binding and the backing as one piece so you could wrap it around. This one, we kept the binding and the backing as one piece so you could wrap it around. This one, if you want to wrap around, you'll have to piece it, okay? Because not everyone does wraparound, so I didn't want to mandate it. And so we cut it.
The directions that came with the
The
welcome.
directions came with the welcome say backing and binding. But you know, our gal Joni, she's queen of the wraparound. So
She is.
because she's so good with those mitered corners, with the mitered corner tool. But so she wrapped hers. So if you decide to wrap yours, you're going to have to piece it. And you have enough fabric. You truly have enough fabric.
So let's just segue this into the battings.
Oh, we're going to talk about battings now.
Barbara, I see your comment there, and I'm making a note of it. I would fill out an order issues just to be sure, but I'll make sure that I look into that
Okay.
as soon as we're done.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
Oh, I like that. Don't worry, be happy, sew on. Yes, yes.
Okay.
So, you know, this is Sip and Sew, where we talk to you about what we like and what works for us. If you find a better way, we love to hear about it. And we do love seeing your glorious summer quilts on
Oh, we do.
Facebook.
Yeah.
We love it. And I have to say, I love the woman who put her flower row on upside down because I was like, am I the only person that would happen to?
We can all feel for that
We can all
one.
feel for that
Yeah.
one. I like warm and natural.
I like warm and natural.
Other than silk batting, which is very difficult to get, I like warm and natural because it is a good needled cotton batting. It does not have any adhesives on it. It drapes well. It washes well. It does have an optional pre-wash, but I've never washed it. And the scrim in it is good enough that it keeps it together, whether you're doing dense quilting or whether you have large areas. Okay, so this is a mainstay for me, and for my quilt, I will be using the queen size and trimming it down. Okay, now other ones that we have here, we do have the Hobbs line, and we have the Hobbs. This is the bleached Hobbs, so it's white. Warm and natural is kind of like a natural beigey, what we all think cotton looks like in the field. Okay,
And we also have the black Hobbs.
and we have the black Hobbs. You ladies that are doing a darker quilt, I would suggest, so those of you that did the navy, the black, the purple, even the red, I would suggest the black. And
Now, Steve is doing my long arm
Yes.
with the red, with the cream. And, we asked him about that also. And he said he could go either way. But
Personal preference.
I have heard that when you're on a dark, that you tend to want to go with a black batting.
Right. But no right or wrong way. Remember, quilting has been going on for
a
long time, and
it wasn't black way
and it
back
wasn't
when.
black way back then. And we also have this with the fusible. Some of you like the fusible. Some of us do not, and some of us use the bone ash to fuse it.
Okay.
Okay.
So what we want to do now is we've brought over your fabrics, and we have a number of wonderful battings to show you. We're selling them in 3 yards. PJ, are they $47, $48, something like that? 3 yards.
$47.95.
$47.95 for 3 yards of 108. So those of you that want to try wraparound, you'll definitely have enough because your quilt comes out to 72 by 72. Okay, but standard backings are sold in 3 yard 108 increments.
PJ, do you mind if we go to the overhead?
Oh, no, I don't mind. Let's go.
So what we're going to do is we're going to bounce back and forth a little bit. I guess, when Gloria and I were picking these, we were thinking, the black, the gray. But at the same time, this is kind of nice with Kathleen's too.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So you're going to be able to, have several options. The table's going to turn out like a mess for a minute here. We'll go back and re-show you what we need to
have
show
these
you.
fabrics in-house. They came yesterday, so we're very excited.
So here's
And
the same fabric, but for the blues.
blues.
And that paisley.
Vicky, I see you, and I will check on it for you. Yes. Sometimes it printed may mean that it's currently being cut and ready to ship. So
It meant that
might
that
just
it
mean-
was printed,
Yep.
that the order came upstairs,
Mhm.
from shipping to upstairs to kit area, perhaps.
And they're going crazy up there cutting kits.
They
Oh, yeah.
are, they are,
It's
yeah,
pretty
and
wild to see.
Yes.
yeah. With
And-
vacations, it's a little tough
Well,
too.
and for all of you coming in October, come and visit the store. It is an
Please,
amazing
yes.
place. Every inch is used, and not exactly like you were thinking.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we're very creative
yeah,
here,
yeah.
how to find a place to work. So this I really just love with the blue.
Right,
It
look at
pulls
that
the
with the
dark,
blue.
but it also pulls the medium. I
Mhm.
just love that one.
Oh, here comes my favorite.
We're going back to Kathleen's again.
And I already bought my backing, and I'm not going to use it. I'm going to save it for another project because I love this. It's very retro. It's very Scalamonde. It's very
But PJ, if we can go overhead
Yep,
for a sec.
sure.
Look how that
Okay, but-
pops.
Look, you can also look. There's gray.
There's great. There's a little bit touch of blue.
Touch of blue. So I would kind of, what just really strikes your fancy. You ready for this one? Uh-oh, that's right. Okay,
The purple.
check it out.
Look at this fabric. It's got so many hues. We had to look at
Gloria
it
and I just said,
twice.
okay, how many of these do we want? And really, it's wonderful with the purple, but it's wonderful with the blues too.
It's wonderful
So
with
if you're
the
kind of,
blues or the black.
I like a fancy backing.
Right.
I
But
just do.
I'm shocked too. Our queen of quilting, Ruth Ann Lowry, she says, doesn't matter what you put on the back. And she sometimes puts something different on the back.
And you know what I
But
do?
these are complementary to what you have on the front.
I always feel the back of a quilt allows you to flip it
Yes.
because
yes.
we all have a grandbaby with a bottle that kind of spits up,
Yeah.
and we need a fast
Yeah.
fix.
But this could go so many ways. It could go with the purples. It could go with the blues. It could go with the blacks.
Okay, to the red, and we'll go back through one
Yeah,
more time so
yeah.
that you can see this. This is one that we picked. This also, I think, is good with Kathleen's.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, you ready for my fave?
I'm ready.
Are you ready, PJ?
I'm actually a little bit behind. I'm not
Okay,
getting-
okay, we'll
okay.
wait for you.
We'll slow down.
We'll slow down.
just a
Yeah,
little bit.
that's
Slow
fine.
down.
And we're going to repeat everything.
You know what?
So
I thought I had these all in the lineup,
That's
so I
okay.
might have to just scan them again. Let's see. I have 5 different ones up here.
Katie, it's no problem. We can get you a yard of the blue to match.
Oh, there they are. Okay.
PJ, I'm
careful.
sorry. Can
Yep.
you
Be careful.
take that
Because there's
note.
been so many different
Hmm.
blues.
Blue. Okay.
All right. Here's
We'll look into the extra fabric.
Fabric.
For the kids. 'Cause
For Katie Templeton?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
And we just need to take a note of her name, please.
Okay. Absolutely.
All right. And when you have a minute, I'm sorry to make you crazy.
No problem. I'm already crazy. Let's go. What do you overhead?
Overhead,
like this one?
please.
Yep. Sure.
This is Deb's favorite.
Check it out.
Wow.
I mean, it's just, and I like it with Kathleen's again. Kathleen's is a little more versatile. Well, I'm going to say a little more versatile. I don't know.
It would go beautiful with the black too. I
Yeah.
think it would really pop
Oh,
with
the black, absolutely. There's,
Yeah.
there's
And
gray and charcoal in it.
We
Yeah.
have these fabrics in house, so it's going to be first come, and then we're going to have to reorder. So keep that in mind.
So let's
if
let's
you-
take a second and neaten this
and
up. We have a
remember,
couple more.
8% off on
8%.
this. So where are you going to get a backing at that
8%
price?
off.
8% off.
So that's pretty crazy. I would get the
Put this.
magnetic hoops.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a pretty high.
That's a
percentage.
good- that's a
Kiki's
high
got-
percentage.
That's one of the high ones. Yeah. Well, we
Um,
want Deb to spin our wheel. Yeah.
Hey, PJ, the overhead, does it scan a little bit, or do we need to be in the
Oh,
center?
I can come find you.
Okay, so yeah, give us a second. Let's lay these out. We have two more to show you. This we kind of liked with the blacks, I think, or with Kathleen. Do you want to fold yours there?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, how nice to have so many choices. Okay, and then Kathleen,
just
this was your
getting-
favorite.
I'm just getting Peacock Flourish Opalescence in.
Okay.
And that's
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 this
that
guy?
one right there.
Yep.
Look at that. That is really.
And we'll
nice.
go back through each one of these individually.
So these are 3-yard cuts.
3-yard cut.
3 yard, 108 inches
47,
wide.
90 something.
They are
Can you show this Sam?
47.95.
Samsara all
This-
over. Yeah, that one.
this
more
one?
time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure.
Isn't that a beauty? PJ, can we have an overhead of this one? This is just, this
That's-
fabric is so beautiful in real life that it would look great on the black also because it has some blacks in it. It would go great on the cream because it has some creams in it. It's really...
We picked it for the red.
Yeah, we picked it for the
just
red.
looked
Yeah,
at it.
yeah, yeah.
We said, oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay, and then for this is, look at this with the blues.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that.
I
And I'm sorry that we have so many wonderful selections
you
for
have
you.
too many wonderful things. I can't keep up. Well, I'm trying.
Well, we're
We'll
going
back
to
up.
take a minute to give PJ a minute to catch up so that you can see them in the bubble because we don't want you to miss out on them while they just came in.
No, take your
And
time.
They
Yeah.
do have a nice hand feel. They are better techs.
Yeah, and you know
because-
that hand that you're talking about, I've gotten some backings that either have too much sizing. I mean, this is a wonderful price.
Yes.
They feel good.
Right.
And
If you are machine quilting it yourself, I would suggest that you pre-wash it because
Absolutely.
your front has been pre-washed. Remember when you did your fabric prep, and especially if you're in the red families, even though these are Benartex, I also want to get some of that sizing out because I like a drape. I like my quilt to drape and not be stiff. But if you're doing it as a wall hanging and it may never be washed again, then don't wash it. It's again, you do you. We're just giving you some suggestions.
Can we go back over them?
we
one
sure
Sure, we're
can.
gonna go back
You tell
over
us
them all.
which one's the
Yeah,
bubble.
you tell us
let's-
what's in the
let's
bubble.
start with the blue, the one in your hand. Yeah, that
All
one
right.
there.
This is, and let's get some of this out of the way so you can see. This is the blue.
We're starting with the blue,
3 yards.
3 yards.
And really, you're going to have a little bit extra. I could even see this with a sham,
Oh yeah, yeah. You can
There's
make this
just- yeah.
and just make shams out of this.
Yeah.
To complement, or if you decide
Drapes?
to. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
there
I
you
mean,
go.
there's so many things. Or at the bottom of your bed skirt ruffle. If you're using a bed skirt, you want to put a ruffle on the bottom with what's left over. Gives a little accent there. So
How about that one right
the
there?
black one?
Yes, please.
Okay, so
Okay.
we have that black,
Same pattern,
same pattern.
but in the charcoals, golds, grays.
Yeah, and it's almost a terracotta. It's almost a brown.
Mm-hmm.
And you picked this one for which
We picked it
color?
for black, but it could go with
Yours.
the tan. It it really,
man.
because it has that gold in there,
Actually, the red as well.
and it could go with the red. It does not have any red in it. So we're trying to give you as best representation as we can. We're trying to hold it up. There we go. Okay. Okay, and
Right.
let's hold that
But-
blue one back.
Yeah, I
up.
was just trying to lay them
Yeah,
out
yeah.
so they can come back and just
Yeah.
PJ
yeah,
can scan them
I
all
just want
for
to
us.
make sure that everybody can see. Okay, and then the next one, PJ, would be the tan.
Yes, please.
Okay, this tan is just glorious. And boy, I hear that Steve out there on that long arm. He's going crazy. We'll get to him real soon. Here we have the tan, and you see it has grays in it and different tans in it.
Can you lay that down? We'll do an overhead of that one.
Okay.
I actually like this one with the blue as well.
Yes.
Real-
Wait, he wants a whole piece.
Yeah, let's
Like to
let's
see the whole thing.
unfold it a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. And that one, which one would that go with? The
We'd
blue
like
you were
this
saying?
with the blues.
We
Okay,
like it with
let's
the
see it
blue,
next
the
to
the
black,
charcoal,
or the
yeah,
yeah, or
Kathleen.
the tan.
Mm-hmm. Very versatile.
What color would you like next, PJ?
Next, I have Fern Fantasy. Is the
Oh.
green
Oh, the green.
right there? Yes.
This
that-
one.
Yeah. that's
Yeah,
just
and we
this
did this one last, and you know,
This was
I
just
don't
a
want,
drop in.
I don't want to cut this one short
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, if you like blues, this is just
Or if you like fern frauds, there's lots of different fern frauds in here. There's a couple of different.
I like it with
styles
black
in
as
there.
well.
Mm-hmm.
But it really, it's a nice looking piece,
Hey,
and definitely a flip over.
Right, and no one said that you had to use these on this. Maybe you have another project at home you need
Yeah,
to finish
true.
up. So, and those of you that are going to see us on the Mid-Atlantic Shop Hop, we'll have some fabrics in the shop for this too. Okay, PJ, what's next?
Next would be, I'm going down here to the bottom. We could do the Samsara again. Samsara all over. That would be this one.
This one?
Yeah, this one I think is the favorite.
It is.
That is my favorite.
Oh yeah.
This is
I-
truly my favorite. Let's give them a better, bigger shot of that fabric. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I mean, it
Very
is just,
retro, very
it's just
Mid-century
it just really
modern.
pops this red
mm-hmm.
and the black. It just turns into a whole different
Look,
look.
it goes with all of them.
Yeah,
I mean, it really
yeah.
does. I would really
I
like
like
to
these
see
too.
this with the black or the red.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ruth Ann's on her way. I'm so glad.
Oh,
Okay.
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 All right.
Good.
And how about the next one, PJ?
Next one is Peacock Flourish
Oh,
Opalescent.
Lord.
Yeah.
Gee
Another
whiz.
favorite.
And that's that multicolor. Let's open it up so that they get a really good look at that.
Let's get the
show
red out of here.
2 for tan quilt.
Okay, we can do that.
Show the 2.
The 2 for the tan quilt.
Yeah.
All right. And if you want this
Well, let's
on
see
the
this one,
overhead
yeah.
you have 3 wonderful choices here.
We didn't review this one.
Not yet.
Yeah.
That was at the end, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the red one would be the last one that we haven't reviewed.
We didn't review this one.
Oh, we didn't. Okay.
No.
I mean, doesn't this make you want to start all over again?
Oh my gosh, it
I know,
does.
but I couldn't pick
It
which color to
does.
start.
It does.
This one. Oh, this red one.
I don't
All
think
right.
we've even seen that one yet.
No, barely. Yes, I know. We apologize. We hurry sometimes.
Mhm.
Sorry. Okay, so perfect with this, and perfect with the black.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Really nice.
Okay, we have just a couple more. They're limited quantity. We can't get more of these, I don't think.
Yeah, this will be a today only purchase. The next couple because
But there's a bolt.
there's a
There's a whole
bolt,
bolt.
so there's enough. But let me re-review the tan before you go to that The two tan ones, there was a question by the audience
Okay.
for the two tans. So we had those two. Okay, this one has fern frauds on it. This one is the paisley mid-century
So the
modern.
one that's on
And then we have
this
this one.
side of you is in the bubble now. And
This one?
yeah, that's this one on your left side, the tan on the left
Oh,
is
okay. This is what's in the bubble right now.
the drawing room.
This one, it's called Drawing Room. It's
The drawing room footstool.
Drawing
Oh,
Room
wow. There you
Footstool.
go.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
New
They have
project.
some really great names for these.
Yeah, they
things.
do.
Yeah, they really did. Yeah.
And then
yeah.
On the left side, it looks Fern Fantasy.
Fern Fantasy. Oh, yeah, it is
That's
called
this one.
that. Fern Fantasy. Okay. Great. Great. Okay. Now, the ones that Deb is bringing up, they have a limited number. So,
PJ, do you need to scan this in, or how do you do that? You're okay?
Oh,
Well, we
you know what? We could add those after we.
look.
Let's go out to
do you
Steve.
want to go to Steve first?
Let's go
Yeah.
to Steve, okay?
Okay.
Because I hear that long arm just whirling away on Deb's quilt, and I can't wait to see what he's doing.
Are you ready? Okay, here we go. There's one of those. I'll be right there in 2 seconds.
Yep.
All right. Where is my camera? I lost my camera. It's over here. All right. We're going out to see Steve. I'll see you.
Are there any questions we could answer while they're changing camera venues?
I would. We'll try not to talk over. Steve, you might want to say some
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
So
Oh, yeah.
we'll just
Okay.
we'll come out here. If you want to come out here.
oh, we're going to, yeah.
I could even bring some comments with
Okay,
me so
that'd be
that
great.
You can read comments here. Here you go. We'll just tap that one right there.
All righty.
There
Thank you.
Go. All right, we're going out. All right, out we go. Okay.
We're out here.
Oh, hello.
Hello. So we are working on Glorious Summer, the quilt here, and we have been doing it with our Baby Lock Regalia long arm quilting machine with the Pro Stitcher Premium. So you can see some of the quilting that's been done on here. So we did triangle blocks in the triangle areas. We did little square block that fit the square. We have rectangle size patterns that fit well in our rectangles. We'll be doing the quilt along this side border once we turn the quilt. It's easier to do the borders across the frame this way rather than try to piece them as we go down. But one of the things I wanted to show you guys today is that this block here that's on an angle. Now ideally, if you could do this in one pass and repeat this pattern and just do it one, that'd be great. But with this, it being so long, I can't get that corner and this corner at the same time. So what we've done so far is we've just stitched one of them. But with the machine, you can line your patterns up really well of where you want it to be. So I'm just going to, we'll see how close I get. So I'm going to do a multi-point here. Oh, let's see, let's go area. Try that again. There we go, I heard the ding. So then we're going to have straight down. I want the other multi-point to be down here. I'm just looking at what's been done over on this side and kind of matching up my dot on this side over here. So then we're going to go around the whole way. Do one there. We'll do one up here. And so there's the box we just created. And we're going to put a pattern in that box. So we're going to go up to File, Design, Open. Now the patterns I've been using have come from Christy Dillon. And she has given some of her patterns to be included with the Pro Stitcher software. The Pro Stitcher software has over 1,000 designs, so it has a lot of designs that you can do things with. But this is the block that I chose to put in there. So that block there, so I need to put that in that box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to Modify. We're going to rotate the design 45 degrees this way. So now it matches pretty close to the angle of our rotation there. I'm going to hit the word baseline up here. anytime you make a change to a pattern, you just come on and kind of reset it. You hit baseline and it kind of resets the pattern for any changes you made. The next thing we want to do is we want to go up to skew, and we want to skew the pattern, and there it fits into our box where we want it to be. So we can kind of check what that's going to look like here. So this point down here is going to be right there. I like the way it looks. And let's check up here. Yeah, that looks good. So we're going to go ahead and stitch this out. So we're going to go up to Pro Stitcher. We're going to go to Run, Proceed. It's going to move to our starting point. It's going to fire that first stitch for us. Oh, I'm just trying to get a tail of thread here. There we go. So we have a tail of thread. Oops, just broke it. Let's see if I can get it fixed here. Oh yeah. Okay. We have a tail. I'm going to pull up our bobbin thread. I'll just floss that under. There we go. Now we're all fixed. I'm going to hit resume. The machine's going to start sewing for us. And we have it set to stop after it goes through a few stitches, so you can just safely trim that thread, and then you're just going to resume again. I'm going to let it stitch out. And it's going to put that same pattern that we have here in this spot over here. And we'll see how well we match up. And we decided to embroider right through our embroidery designs. You can try to go around the embroidery designs to do some of the stippling and things. But we felt with this quilt, we wanted it to hold together well, and going right through your embroidery designs ensures that the layers are going to stay together nicely for you. So, because we like to use our quilts, right? We're
Right,
we're
absolutely.
going to use this one.
Yep.
What color thread is that?
This is a variegated thread that has like deeper tones of red, blues, yellows, like golds in them. And we thought it went well with the colors here. But this is a Madeira Aero Quilt variegated thread. So it's doing a tying stitch for us there. There we go. I'm going to pull some thread. We're going to move the machine away. We're going to pull up our bobbin thread. So you can clip that so there's no tails on the back. And then you can see our pattern. It matched up pretty well right here. Our little feathers are really close together. They matched up nicely there. So we're just going to continue on and keep quilting. There's a triangle pattern I have to put in here. I can show that real quick, and then we can kind of move on to another spot. So let's do the triangle block. So first thing we're going to do is we're just going to go up to File, and I'm going to clear all. I just want to start with a fresh screen. So from there, we're going to go into our area. You want to use a multi-point, so I'm just going to start up here in the corner of that triangle, and I'm going to hit the diamond for multi-point, and we're just going to walk the whole way around our triangle.
How are you?
Like that. There is our triangle on the screen. We're going to go File, Design. This is this triangle block. Let's go open. Let's look at all the designs. But I chose this last one right here. This Fulton feather triangle for the triangles. So we're going to double click on that one. And we want that to go in that triangle shape. So that design is going to end up in our purple box. We're going to go Modify, Skew. So Skew is already selected. We're going to go down along the right here to Triangle Skew. Look at that.
No.
That's perfect. Just one click and it goes into there perfectly. So all I'm going to do is go up to Pro Stitcher. We're going to go Run, proceed. It's going to move to our starting point. It's going to do one stitch. We're going to take that thread, floss it under the foot. It's going to pull up that bobbin thread. Just hold on to both those threads. Hit resume. It's going to do a locking stitch for us. And it's going to sew some stitches. And then we have it set to stop. It's going to pause for us. It makes it easy so you can just trim those threads and you can hit resume and it'll keep on working.
Hey, Steve, for discussion's sake,
Yeah.
do you take your quilts to the dry cleaner or do you wash them?
This one I would take to the dry cleaner, I feel like. You could, yeah, if you don't want to wash it. Some of the quilts that I'm using every day on the couch, I'm going to throw in the washing machine. This is one you might want to like not throw in the washing machine. I think it's just going to hold up better if you with all the work that goes into it. But if you're doing like a 3-yard quilt and it's something quick, I throw that right in the washing machine. But something like this, definitely. Dry cleaner would really help preserve it, I feel like. So. And you want your designs, you want them to be close, I feel like you want them to be close up against the borders of where the fabrics meet here, without going over. And just remember, there's 100 different ways to make chocolate chip cookies. There's 100 different ways to quilt a quilt. So, you know, kind of pick the one that works best for you and kind of do it that way. But hopefully we've given you some suggestions of different ways you can do it on the embroidery machine, on a long arm machine. If you're really good at freehand quilting or free motion quilting, you can free motion quilt and stuff. But I think what's next here?
We're going to go back in
we
and
have
talk
a sneak peek.
We have a sneak peek and we have a sneak visitor.
And a special guest, yes. So we're gonna head back in and
Okay.
yeah.
Go ahead. Everybody, I'll follow you.
Are you going in too?
I can.
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah, just do that.
Okay,
I don't need it.
so
Oh, we don't need
Here.
it? Okay. Let's go in.
this is what's coming next.
Wait, that camera's not on.
Camera's not on.
Oh, okay.
Let me get over. Sorry.
Overhead would be wonderful, PJ.
Sure. Overhead. Yep.
This is our sneak peek of what we're going to be giving you step-by-step instructions on in 2 weeks, Deb?
2 weeks, what we're going to, okay. So we're going to show you the process that we're going through to get to 2 weeks from now. We should be ready in 2 weeks. Our goal is to have kits, thread, everything all ready to
But
go.
at that 8% off today, we have this pattern available that we're going to be using. So you could get the pattern, have time to review it
Oh, yeah,
before the
very
2
Oh,
weeks.
Claudia's
Claudia,
creations, yeah. She
I
has
know.
beautiful things.
Okay, so where this came about is I showed Gloria something that I'd done 5 or 6 years ago, and it was done in batiks. Now, let me tell you where my pillow is right now to show you that sample. It's at Gloria's home because she was ordering batiks last night. So I don't have that one to show you, but if, Kathleen, if you hang on to that, we had several ways that we're looking at doing this.
So we were putting together fabric kits and we were doing some test sew-outs so that there aren't adjustments along the way. We're going to have 3 different kits available and they're going to be for sale in 2 weeks.
I think we're going 4.
We're going 4?
I think we're going
going
4.
4. But we're also going to teach you lots of good things along the way with this. We're going to teach cording. We're going to teach how to put a zipper in a pillow, how to put buttons in a pillow, and how to do covered buttons. So we have lots of upcoming fun things to talk about on Sip and Sew on Tuesdays.
So where I started on this is I just start and I sew, and I got this far and I said, something is bothering me here. It's the gold. Oh, and by the way, do you see the cats? The cat background?
That looks like my cat.
Yeah. Okay, so I changed it to green. I love it.
And
Yes,
it
I like
really
that too.
pops.
Yeah.
So,
really
so
pops.
what we did is we pull a number of fabrics. We have the borders to do, which I think are going to be purple. Kathleen and I are going back and forth 10 times on, I want to do the checkerboard. She says, you're crazy.
Because they're 1 by 1 inch squares and the embroidery sew-out is available. And then look at this little lime green. So we're going to do we're going to teach you how to do cording, and we're going to wrap this fabric in the cording.
But
so that
what
it
I want
pops.
more with this, I want
Slide you guys
eyeball.
over this way a little bit.
I want
Other-
eyeball
other way.
covered. Eyeball
She wants you
covered
to do it
buttons.
this way.
This
Yeah,
way.
you're coming off the
Okay.
screen.
Okay.
All right.
I want eyeball buttons for on the
Oh,
back.
there you go.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Eyeball
Covered buttons, yeah.
Yeah. probably going to use something like this for the backing. This is just a tease.
Now, what
okay?
did you use here for stabilizer? I'm curious.
This pattern calls for shape flex. This one, and this is what we're trying. This I used several layers of spray starch. So those are my go-tos.
So shape flex on the back of your background.
Shape flex is on this one.
Okay.
I'm trying that. This one,
And then for stabilizer, what'd you use? This is your interfacing. What'd you use in the hoop?
oh, in the hoop, I use tearaway.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
I'm
going to be
tearaway. I'm tearaway.
yeah, we're going to see if we can
That's
get
always
a special price.
my
It's a go-to.
my issue is stabilization.
I
Right.
agree, and that's what's so important.
Well, and what I was doing with this is, I actually, to be honest, I was using that layout box. I love using the layout box, and I didn't think that I was getting enough strength, so I am hooping. Usually, I like to do
Float, like floating.
Floating.
I like to float it, yeah. And this, I just didn't. I don't think it's a float
So we're
project.
going to
We'll
have
let you know
all
for
of
sure.
those suggestions covered so that we can share them with you when you come back. But if you want to, the pattern is available in case you want to get it early. Well, you have the 8% off.
Okay,
Ooh,
so
8%
Can,
So-
Yeah.
can we see the front of that again from the overhead?
I'm going to lay it down for you, PJ.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll find it. Oh,
and
it's a
it's
little
gonna
bit of glare. Yeah.
there you go.
Thank you.
And although they call for putting the words enchanted pumpkin on, we're not going to suggest that. Okay?
I might.
You might.
You
Who
know
knows?
why?
Yeah.
Because don't we need a Cinderella pillow?
Oh,
I mean, does that
there
not
you
look
go.
like the carriage?
It does kind of look like the Cinderella carriage.
Yeah.
You're right.
So who knows? You'll have to see what we come up a couple of weeks, from now. Gloria's ordered the batik.
Yeah, that would be nice, and then it wouldn't be just Halloween.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have 8 granddaughters, so
Oh,
I
my
have
goodness.
choices.
I can't wait till the batiks come in. We'll be so excited. We'll have a batik kit for this pillow.
And the original one that I did in the batiks, I actually did the center, and I did it on. It calls for a 22 by 22 inch piece. I never added this. I never added this. And Gloria, when she saw it, she said, "We have to have that." So there's options. You don't have to go. You don't have to go to the 1 inch border. I don't think Kathleen's going to. But okay, so just to be right up front with you, this is where we go. These are all of the fabrics that we pulled for this one.
Oh, that's
So
pretty.
just the pattern.
The pattern's 40.
It's just the pattern.
Just the pattern.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing today.
That's very
It's a
pretty.
CD, I believe.
It is a
A CD.
CD. It is a CD. So those of you sewists that don't have a CD drive, go to your local library.
one.
They'll be glad to transfer
did the
from a
gold.
CD to a USB for you.
Very pretty.
Okay, and then now this one, Ruth Ann and I were just saying, Shape Flex. This is gold metallic. Now we've gone
We've
several
gone back and
rounds.
forth on
Yes.
this.
I'm not sure that I like the gold. Steve liked it.
I like
Kathleen likes it.
Mhm. But I was going to do my pumpkin threads in the gold to bring it out.
This was another one that I pulled today to give it another
I like
try.
that. Gloria likes that better.
Lord, okay.
It all
So,
depends. Yeah.
tough. 2 to 2.
Oh, yeah, 2 to 2.
What's number 5?
I
Is
don't.
it?
Go
Go ahead. You're on the spot.
I kind of like that
Yeah.
myself.
Okay.
And you're going to say, oh my goodness, some of those don't look like Halloween, but this is called Halloween Kisses. And so it is considered a Halloween fabric. And just the placement, she put the blue on top of the paisley with the black, but if we put the black on this and
Very
we
pretty.
put the
Yeah,
blue
that's very
down,
nice.
if we do the blue down, which is what I'm going to do on my test sew-up, because we need to make sure that we know all the kinks so that we can tell you the best way to do this.
And what not to do, right?
Right.
Right, and what not to do.
Yeah.
This does have a number of hoopings, and that's why we're talking about the magnetic hoops today.
Right.
It's called pinpoint placement. I was trying to get fancy. I was trying to use the projector. You can use the projector to check yourself. I mean, anybody. All you do, there's grids. You put grids, and it says at 5 1/4 inches, put your needle down and sew. You sew it. It tells you at 4 3/4 inches, put your needle down and sew. It's just one. You've done Claudia before, right? Yeah. She has her own way of doing things, and it reminds me a little bit of Gloria's Summer. These things just work. Some of these digitizers, they're just
She's
phenomenal.
a good digitizer.
Phenomenal.
She's a very
Yeah.
strong digitizer.
So
Yep.
anyhow, we were just giving you a tease, just to let you know. But I'm going to take off my microphone. Oh, you
I
have,
have one. Yep. And I'm
Step
gonna
in the
get-
middle and tell us what's
Well,
going on.
Well, I just came from a doctor's appointment, of course. So I had my doctor's appointment just right down the road by South Hills Village. I had to have an EMG study done. So I thought, well, since I'm here and I'm out and about, I was going to stop in and see everybody.
Oh, we're so glad to see you.
Nice
Yes.
haircut. You just got your hair
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, a little while
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, looks nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
my fingernails are red, white, and blue because I was at my grandson's graduation from the Coast Guard
Oh
Academy.
boy.
How exciting.
Now he's
How
getting married
exciting.
Saturday.
Oh wow.
Oh, my
So I,
goodness.
Wow,
gotta
that's
get
good
my, I
to
have to
him.
get my nail polish changed.
How
Oh,
exciting.
and Lizzie, her granddaughter, I don't know how long she's been here, but Gloria was working on all of these USBs this morning. And I said to Gloria, I said, those kids, they could do it 5 times faster than you or I. I said, Lizzie, and she looked at me. So I went down and checked on her a couple of times. She gave me a thumbs up. She was
Okay.
fine.
Oh, okay.
But Lizzie was put to
And
work
Lizzie's
today.
a sewer too. And a
Oh, is
quilter.
she?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She's won ribbons with her
Okay.
quilts.
Well, good for her.
Yep.
So, yeah, Lizzie really helped out today.
She started to sew with me when she was only 4 years old.
Oh, how
She would sit
wonderful.
on my lap and feed the fabric, and I'd push the foot control.
Yeah. Hey, last thing I forgot about this. Gloria
I'm
or
gonna get going. I
Claudia.
wanna go.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. I want to go see Gloria and Joni before they're gone. Okay. Bye-bye.
Claudia did send a pattern to us to try.
Called All Hallows Eve.
So if we want to,
Overhead, please.
we're shining a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, keep it. There we go.
Okay. And you can see it has a lot of technique there, and there are
Not killer technique. though.
multiple.
Yeah,
There are actually 9
embroideries.
embroideries on there. And you know what? Next week when we show this next time, we'll have it out of the package, so there'll be
Yeah.
no glare, and then we can really explain how fun that's going to be. So those of you that, they say that people are using decorating for Halloween and spending almost the same amount of money as they are on Christmas decorations. So if you or a loved one is one of those, this is a nice size quilt or throw that you could consider. And we've just got this pattern in, so it's going to go fast. I'm going to see what the size is. It's finished size 57 by 57.
So we'll have to show
So-
that at another time.
Yeah,
Right,
we're going to show
right,
that again at
yeah.
another time. That's a little tease.
So anyhow, with this project, you're going to learn a lot about placement. It's not difficult. You're going to feel very accomplished. You're going to get to work with colors. We're going to put, it's like Kathleen saying she wants to use these same colors. She just wants to reverse them. Do it. But we will, get enough of a, collection there that you can pick what you want. You will learn to do binding. You will learn to do an envelope style pillow. Let's see,
A zipper.
Zipper. We will do a lapped pillow zipper, and of course we have to have the eyeball buttons.
And cording. I think
Yeah,
cording is
yeah,
going to be important.
yeah.
Yeah. So we hope to bring that to you in upcoming shows.
And again, if you don't want to, if you're feeling like, wow, there's a lot going on there, this is what my original pillow was.
Right, this side.
This was it.
With
no,
a single
this,
background.
Yeah, I
right.
had a couple more tendrils on it, but this was it. You don't have to, go all of the way.
You don't have to put all the gingerbread on.
right.
You know, it's just like
yeah.
cake decorating. Some
Yeah.
people like theirs to be very modern, and some people like theirs to be very fussy. So again, it will be you do you on Sip and Sew. So we're going to say goodbye.
Thank you for hanging in there with us.
Yes.
I'm a 45-minute person. We're over 45 minutes.
You're
I know.
doing
I know.
fine. There's
Okay.
a couple items that we didn't, we kind of just blew by.
We're okay.
You see any of these that you wanted to talk about? There's all sorts of 8% back. You got to
Yeah, remember, you want to shop and you want to check out within 2 hours so that you earn that 8% back. So those of you that didn't get what you wanted for Mother's Day, a magnetic hoop is always makes my feelings feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it's at the bottom of your app. It
Can we
says,
just run through a couple, the sizes?
Sure.
sure.
I just
We
think
don't
they're
have them all
pretty much-
here.
Right.
We don't have
We
them
just-
all here, but these were the ones that we were suggesting and recommending today. the 8x12, which is what I used.
And you will use that.
It's a good workhorse.
Yeah.
It's easy to navigate, easy to learn to use, okay? Then Deb likes the 10.5 by 10.5, which would be perfect for
That's what I'm using for this project.
for the enchanted pumpkin.
Yeah.
For the enchanted pumpkin. And remember, none of these magnetic hoops come with your machine, but they do make hooping and rehooping so much
it's
easier. And then finally, the big dog, 10.5 by 16. You would be able to, if you saw on my quilt sandwich, if you're doing your quilting on your glorious summer, you could probably move that pattern around and do 3 of the triangles. You might even be able to do 3 at a time, you know, and how would we do that? We would just copy our design and then make sure that the placement is correct. Yeah. And you could line it up for each of the 3 triangles. Or if you're going to do the flower wreath, if you're going to do the quilting around there. I did see earlier a question, someone said, where are those files on your machine? They're not on your machine. They come when you purchase the Glorious Summer Quilt Pattern. The 4 embroidery files that are for quilting, they're at the very end of your designs in the PES file or whatever file you're using. In the PES, they're at the very end. There are 4 different designs. And if you go behind the thread line, that's where the diagram is that shows you where to put those. Yeah.
And my apologies, I've talked to the monitor all day. I forgot the camera was up there.
You're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
And then there was just a couple other sizes that I'll throw in here in case people wanted to.
PJ's going to put some other sizes because that 8%, if you're building your workshop, my husband calls my sewing room my workshop. If you're building your workshop, you might want to pick up a couple of different ones.
I like the 5x7 as well.
I do use the 5x7 a lot.
To use.
I use it a lot for towels.
Well, I was using it on one of these other samples, one of the tendrils.
Okay.
I kind of like to use as small a hoop as possible so I get a nice tight fit.
Right. And that is the difference. When you're using a larger hoop, you have to be more cognizant of the stretch of your fabric. When you're using the smaller hoops, you have a little bit more control. So smaller for control, larger for if you don't want to rehoop very much. Or if you're doing the Amy Scott edge to edge, I find the large works really, really well for that. And
I hope you like all the backings we
yeah,
selected today. I mean, God bless Gloria.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like that one. How many of those do you want, Deb?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Gloria does not hold back. She aims to really satisfy the customer and has a lot of confidence. So.
And you had 4 different Glorious Summer backings. So this way your fabric bases. So now that's why we offered you so many different backings. And again, there would be enough that you would be able to do your binding in that, and if you laid it out correctly, you could do your wraparound binding in that.
I'm sorry, it looked like Steve got All Hallows Eve in there.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah, so
that's that extra one.
Yeah,
he said he
did. Okay, so this one is
Steve.
in there, you know.
Yeah.
I'm going to lay it down, PJ, but I'm going to hold it. If you could really zoom in to see there are...
We tilted a little bit.
Yeah, it's on it. There we go. See, we're looking at the monitor.
Yeah.
Again.
You can see there are some different types of blocks around here, and there are 9 different embroidery designs.
Looks like a bookshelf. What is that? Hats, witches' hats.
Yeah, everything is relative to Halloween. This looks like a haunted house in the middle.
Brooms.
Pumpkins,
Okay,
witches'
the hats are in the corner.
Oh, their hats are in the corner. Okay. Yeah. And then someone asked a question earlier. We tend to select designs that are not difficult quilting. So we do not select designs that have Y seams. The Glorious Summer did not have any Y seams. This pillow does not have any Y seams, and I don't believe there's any Y seams in here. I think you can build your quilting skills by focusing on the corners, because with all of these points and quarters, Glorious Summer had a lot of points that you wanted to line up, and now on this All Hallows Eve. So these are both teasers. We're going to talk more about them, but use that 80% or
Remove these.
8%, not 88%. And remember, we have all of these quilt backs available for you in 3-yard. The price in the bubble was for all 3 yards.
Okay, PJ.
$37.95.
You tell us which ones to pull up, okay? So he can
Okay.
put them in the bubble.
And
Okay.
someone did say, oh, that looked a little yellowy on. It looks a little yellowy too in person because there's a significant amount of gold as opposed to tan. But it was hard for us to see it when we were selecting. So
I love it.
It's an alternate, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe it works on something else. It works on this. This one
Let's
is
see.
still mine.
Let's see let him pull them
Yeah,
up in the
tell us what-
bubble.
You
Yeah.
I've got an idea of which ones they are, so you
Okay.
can go ahead.
All right, let's do
just-
just go through them.
Yeah, this is the fern one.
The one, it does have a yellow appearance. I would love it with the black. I would just love it with the black. I think it would pop it.
It is called
Fern
Fern
Fantasy.
Fantasy. So it does have some ferns in there.
Okay, then these next 3 are really all the same, but in different colorways. There are these 2 right
You know
here.
what? Let me show. This one is the Fern Fantasy, but it's got that black one. So see, it does look completely different. It's got the blue and the black in the Fern Fantasy. Fern Fantasy in tan, Fern Fantasy in the blue black.
Love the blue.
I love that.
Love it.
Yeah, it goes good.
I
with
like
blue.
the gold too. I if I'd done one of the others. Okay, PJ, if we can go overhead, please. They can see all of these at once. Sometimes I think, PJ, when you put a couple of colors together, does that let them see?
Yeah, that's nice to see the options there like that. Really cool. And I'll yeah. So we got all of these, and I think they can also click the shop all button if they want to
And
pick and choose.
I mean, I think I'm going to do either blue or purple. I don't know. I can't believe I would do one more of these, but I think I might. Look at that. I mean, it's just amazing. And then these are the reds.
And I think the favorite of the night is
Is this one?
either the Peacock Flourish Opulescence or this one right here. Same
This
star
one?
all over collage.
Yeah, this is, honestly, this is,
Very rich.
yeah, it's just breathtaking. What it could do for so many of these.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's
All
great.
right. I think we've got it.
I think we did.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Hey,
Thank you, Steve, for life
thank you
saving
again.
us.
Please
Yes,
hold the
thank you,
navy-
Steve, for being a
Oh,
lifesaver.
We've got
And
somebody. We want Barbara wants to see that one more time.
Sure.
Navy drawing room. Is this one right here?
There you go, Barbara.
So cool.
So cool. So many choices.
So I think we usually do. They have 2 hours to check out.
That
to
is
get
correct.
that
They have
8%.
2 hours to check out in order
Okay.
to earn that 8%. Remember, orders over $75 ship for free.
for free.
Standard shipping is $8. If let's say you just wanted to pick up the pattern today, you know,
Hold up the blue.
put more in.
Can we put the blue with the blue?
Oh,
Somebody wants
sure.
to see the blue with the blue. Okay, we have just another minute. We'll
I'm sorry.
show that.
all
That's
right.
okay.
No problem.
How about that whole stack there? Yeah. I'll do the overhead. Beautiful.
I'm good with it either way. Whether this is you use this for your outside, I think I did use the darkest for the last border. You decide to use this one. I'm great either way with that. It's just wonderful.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
we'll check on the other fabrics and how to get people more of them. and maybe we'll come back with an answer to that on Thursday night because there's
Okay.
an app-only sale
Oh.
for Steve's birthday.
Oh my
Oh, boy.
goodness. It's going to be Steve's birthday. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you
you
for
for joining
hanging
us.
in there with
yeah,
us.
yeah. We
Yes.
had a great day with you. Hope you picked up some tips and tricks here on Sip and Sew.
Thank you.
See you in 2 weeks.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.